Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the next call of Body Whispering. I think it's sixth or seventh call. I'm bad at numbers, don't have count of how many we did. And in the last call, we talked about some potent tools to get over body pains, and we have left just before where Dr. Dane starts talking about depression and anxiety. So, the next topic that we are covering today is some notes on depression and anxiety. I'll put all of you on mute for now. If you have any question, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question, or you can raise your hand and I'll note that you have something to share or something to ask. Have you noticed how those dear souls who experience depression and anxiety are most often labeled the sensitive people of the world? They are shamed for their sensitivity and made to feel that they need to be stronger, more resilient, and less emotional. But what if this so called weakness is actually a source of potency? So, everywhere you have been made wrong and you have been made fun of, ridiculed for your emotions, for your sensitivity, for crying while watching those emotional movies. Will you please now stop judging yourself for your sensitivity and embrace it as your gift and capacity? I happen to believe that sensitivity is strength. In fact, I believe that any and all of our so called weaknesses have the capacity to be a source of strength, especially when we become aware of them. Here is a reality changing question that can shift your perspective on any feature of your personality that you have misidentified as a weakness. So, what if everything you thought was a wrongness of you is actually a strongness of you? Take a moment to explore it and see what comes up. So, be with yourself for a few seconds and just see everything that you have been made wrong of since your childhood till now. Yeah. For being too loud, for being too noisy, being too adamant or whatever it is, being too manipulative or being too simple, being too innocent, whatever it is. What if you have considered as your wrongness is truly your greatest strength? Dane says, for a long time, especially as a kid, I was considered too much, too loud, too expressive, too animated, too excited. It wasn't until I found access that I was able to recognize this so called wrongness was actually a natural strength I harbored. In reframing my perception in this way, I was able to open the door to so much more joy, ease, and so much more of me. I finally exhaled and embraced being too much. Then I took up the space I desired to take up in the world with zero shame or guilt. So, are you willing to accept, allow your too much qualities? What everything you thought was a wrongness of you is actually a strongness of you. Take a moment to imagine what your life would look like if you were to perceive these weaknesses as strengths. Would you act, think, move, speak, and be different? Could this new perspective change how you function as a healer? And could you share this new awareness with your clients? So, are you willing to be totally yourself without apologies with your clients without making yourself wrong, and what phenomenal change can you create for them from that space. Reframing the narrative around mental health. This reality is full of those beautiful, sensitive souls who are affected and limited by depression and anxiety. You might be one of them, healers often are, or you might not. You will almost certainly have someone in your life or on your table who is. So, let's take a closer look at what could really be going on for anyone living with depression or anxiety, with a view to deepening our understanding and extending the techniques we use when people come to us for change. Just give me a moment, I'm getting a call. Sensitive people don't require a cure, and they are no more messed up than other people. So, people who have any kind of mental health issues, they are actually extremely aware and sensitive. They don't require a cure. Actually, they need to acknowledge their awareness. Instead, they are so much more aware than other people, and in particular, they are aware of how messed up so many people in the world feel. A normal person will perceive the blaring energy of judgment, wrongness, loss of hope, and the wrong suffering that so many experience in the world with a volume of 2 on the stereo of their life. For a sensitive person, their volume dial is turned up to 200. So they are 100 times or more aware than the so called normal people in this reality. And usually, these people are healer types. Yes, like you, who feel like no matter what they do, it will never be enough to change what they perceive going on in themselves or in the world. So, how many of us have chosen to come into these healing modalities because we have already gone through all of this, right? At least I have, and I'm sure many of you have. You have gone through those phases in lives where you could not get out of that depression or anxiety or any other condition. And then, who else can understand this thing better than you? And into the mix that we live in a world where people are not looked at as individuals, nor are they asked questions to become aware of their unique strengths. Instead, they are measured according to bell curves and mean and median distribution standards and told they are wrong if they don't fit into the correct box. And these potent, beautiful, sensitive people never fit into the box. They are the outliers every time. Alongside all of this, we have to remember that very few people have the awareness that 98% of the thoughts, feelings, emotions, stress, anxiety, judgment, hopelessness, and depression they experience is something they are perceiving in the world around them. So it's not theirs, they are just perceiving all this happening in the world, in the environment around them, and they are not aware of this amazing tool who does this belong to. And many of us, even if we are aware of, we forget to use it. So if we can be more present and use this tool more often and make people aware. First, two things that you can do today if you feel depressed or anxious yourself. So, as a healer, as a body whisperer, if you yourself are going through a phase of depression or anxiety or anything of the sort, what can you do? First, please know that you are not alone. So, first of all, know that you are not alone and there are people around you and the tools there to help you. I have walked this path myself and speak to you with care from a place of experience. First and foremost, I recommend you look into taking an Access Consciousness bars class. So, if you have not already taken a bars class, please do attend one. Is there anyone on the call who has not yet taken a bars class? Okay. Geeta, you haven't attended a bars class yet? No. So, what invitation is this that you take up a bars class? Which city are you in?
Ma'am, I am in like I'm listening all this from 1 year. Somehow I'm not able and to attend bar class. I'm so much willing to attend, but nothing is happening. Like I have downloaded all the books on Kindle, and there is some limitations from the family or what I thought I'm not able to, but I'm very much willing to. This is what is happening.
Which
I
city
love
are
to
you in?
love access consciousness in bars and everything.
Which city are you in?
Yeah, Noida, Delhi,
Noida.
Noida.
Okay, there are so many
Yes, ma'am.
facilitators in Noida, Geeta.
Yeah,
So
I
just choose it.
have.
Choose. Just keep telling the universe, universe, I am
There
choosing
is,
this. Show me the path.
there what can I ask?
You tell the universe, make a request of
Hmm.
the universe, request that universe, I am choosing to attend an access bars class.
Hmm.
Like, please show me what can
Okay,
I be and do to be there, and keep using the tools that you have read in the books. Keep
okay, okay,
keep
ma'am.
practicing
Thank
those
you.
tools. Keep applying those tools. So many of us
Hmm.
have been there. If like
Thank
we
you,
took like some
ma'am.
say a 1 year or something
I'm
to
just
be
like,
get there. Okay,
okay.
okay. Yeah.
Mhm. I have contact of one
Your
person
voice is
here,
breaking,
but
Geeta.
I tried to call her, but not answer.
Your voice
But
is
you
not clear.
told me this thing, na, I will do this. Ask question. Huh?
Your voice is not clear.
Pardon?
You may want to put off your video and then try speaking so that.
Oh, okay. Okay, ma'am. Okay. I got it, what you said. I got.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Just a minute.
So an access partition is a hands-on.
Yes, ma'am. Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. Do you have a question?
Hello?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Ma'am, I got it, what you said. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So, an access pass session is a hands on energy modality that has a phenomenal capacity to get you to a place where you let go of all your limiting beliefs, thoughts, and ideas. A bars class was my gateway into access, and I highly recommend it. Secondly, I urge you to use who does this belong to for 3 days for all the thoughts, feelings, and emotions you experience. This one question, who does this belong to, really is the key to the process of change. It's something that will get you out of the big, scary hole that depression feels like. And it's the beginning of accessing the potency and the power within you to know you have the capacity to change. Now, this was if you are having depression and anxiety yourself. So use the tool who does this belong to and get your bars run. If you have already taken a bars class, attend swaps. or like if you haven't yet, attend a past class. Now, if you are a healer and a body whisperer, and if you are catering to clients who have depression and anxiety, number one, be aware of how you perceive them before anything else. As a body whisperer, one of your gifts is your capacity to recognize the strength of the person underneath the condition. And in this case, it's essential for you to recognize the person underneath that often manifests as depression. Two, introduce the idea to your client that their sensitivity is a power, not a weakness. So the first one, you don't see them as someone who is suffering or someone who is small, finite, and who is limited by their conditions. You see them as the greatness that they truly be. The second one is you tell them that the whatever they are experiencing is due to their high sensitivity. It's not a wrongness that they have depression or anxiety. It's not a weakness. It's a capacity that they have because of which they are undergoing this condition. Three, make them aware of the concept behind who does this belong to. That 98% of the thoughts, feelings, and so on are not theirs and are in fact what they are perceiving. Really encourage them to use the tool. We have a free Who Does This Belong To mobile app. Just search Access Consciousness Who Does This Belong To. It's available both on iOS and Android. Download it and use it. This point should really be first. Number four, the fourth point that Dr. Dane is mentioning, he's saying that actually this can be the first point. The most powerful way you can initiate change for someone dealing with depression or anxiety is by being you with them, with no judgment. So just be there for them, holding their hands, not getting into their crap, but standing by their sides as an observer with total caring and gratitude. You can do that easily and naturally. I know it. Is it time for you to know it? See, you really are more prepared than you thought just by being you. Now, any questions on depression and anxiety before we go on to the next topic of boredom and tiredness? Yes,
Hello,
yes, Geeta.
ma'am. I am going through very much depression, anxiety, and मतलब मॉर्निंग में तो ऐसा होता है कि मेरे को लगता है कि कोई मतलब मेरी कमर पे मतलब बहुत सारे थॉट्स आते हैं लो एनर्जी और फिर मैं अपने कपड़े सारे मतलब मैं नहा के आती हूँ फिर भी नहीं जाते और फिर मैं कमर पे ऐसे लगता है जैसे बहुत लो लो सा और कोई जैसे क्रीपी एनर्जी है कुछ मतलब बहुत साल हो गए मुझे और मैं एंग्जाइटी और डिप्रेशन की दवाई भी खाती हूँ अब मैंने छोड़ दी है आज आपने मुझे बताया कि ये हमारी स्ट्रेंथ है सेंसिटिविटी और मैं बहुत जल्दी से परेशान हो जाती हूँ कहीं पे कोई और बात होती
आप छोड़िए
बात झगड़ा
मत।
किसी और का होगा झगड़ा किसी और का होगा फंस के मैं जाऊंगी ये होता है बहुत सेंसिटिव हो गई हूँ मैं
बिलोंग टू करते हैं, उस जो भी आपको मॉर्निंग में फीलिंग आती है उसके लिए आप ट्रुथ हू डज दिस बिलोंग टू टूल यूज करते हैं।
अभी
आप
नहीं
कीजिए,
किया अब ये
मन
करूंगी
ये
3
मेरा
दिन
है
तक
या किसी और का है।
नहीं किया
अब कीजिए। मैं
हाँ मतलब थोड़ा थोड़ा करती हूँ ज्यादा नहीं
पूरा
कर
नहीं, पूरा करना
पाती हूँ
पड़ेगा आपको।
फिर वो
अगर आप
कमर पे गर्मी सी लगने लगती है फिर मैं नहाती हूँ कपड़े बदलती हूँ देखो जवाब देने के बजाय सोचती हूँ नहा लूँ कपड़े बदल लूँ इससे और झगड़ा ना बढ़े और फिर मैं बहुत अच्छे से कपड़े बदलती हूँ नहाती हूँ तो फिर थोड़ा ठीक लगता है
जी गीता जी, आपको सबसे पहले उठते बराबर जो भी आपको फीलिंग्स आ रही हैं, जो इमोशंस आ
हम्म
रहे हैं, उसके लिए आप सबसे पहले उठते बराबर
हम्म
पूछिए कि ये क्या मेरे हैं या मैं
हम्म,
किसी और के जो थॉट्स हैं उनकी नेगेटिविटी है, उनकी जो उनका
हाँ
पेन है बॉडी का, मैं
हाँ
अपने शरीर में महसूस कर रही हूँ। और फिर आप उसको
हाँ ठीक
ट्रूथ हु डज दिस बिलोंग टू, आप बिस्तर पे से भी उठें उसके पहले आपको करना है।
हम्म
नहा धो के नहीं, तब तक तो सब कुछ बहुत
ठीक है
गड़बड़
मैम
चुका होता है। है ना? तो first thing,
हाँ मैम, थैंक यू,
firstly, this is the
थैंक यू।
cleansing process
हाँ,
that you do for yourself before you get out of your bed, before you
ओके
even
मैम, थैंक यू,
put legs down from the bed, and then
थैंक यू मैम।
access mantra है all of life comes to me with ease, joy and glory. तो एक एक ऑडियो भी
यस यस, आई नो,
वेकिंग अप मिराकुलसली जो डॉक्टर डेन हियर ने
आई
दिया,
नो मैम।
वो आपके पास है वो ऑडियो?
हाँ हाँ हाँ,
है क्या कि नहीं है? मैं लिंक शेयर करूँ?
मैं ढूंढ लूंगी मैम, मैं ढूंढने में बहुत तेज हूँ।
मैं बॉडी विस्परिंग वाला जो बुक क्लब का जो ग्रुप है उसमें मैं शेयर करती हूँ। वो ऑडियो शायद अभी अभी भी शायद फ्री अवेलेबल होगा। बीच में तो डॉक्टर डेन हियर ने फ्री दिया था वो ऑडियो सबको। तो आप वो आई विल शेयर पिंकी। आई एम नॉट श्योर इफ इट इज स्टिल फ्री। फ्यू डेज बैक इट वाज फ्री। तो आई विल शेयर द लिंक। वो वेकिंग अप का ही कॉल है। उसको आप जब डाउनलोड कर आप उसको करके सुन सकते हैं। मैं आपको 2-3 टूल्स बता रही हूँ। उठते बराबर आप उसके भी पलंग से उतरे उसके पहले आप 30 बार एटलीस्ट आप ऑल ऑफ लाइफ एक्सेस का मंत्र बोल जाइए। पहले हु डज दिस बिलोंग टू कीजिए, फिर एक्सेस मंत्र कीजिए। उसके बाद आप पलंग से उठ के ब्रश करने के लिए बात जाइए, है ना? ऑल ऑफ लाइफ
बाद में
विद ईज।
मैंने उनकी, हाँ, मैंने एक बुक क्लब भी,
आपकी
हाँ।
आवाज नहीं आ रही है
थैंक यू,
गीता। आप ना वीडियो बंद कर दीजिए अपना, तो शायद ये
थैंक यू मैम, बस आप।
वीडियो बंद कीजिए अपना। वो ड्रॉप ऑफ ही हो गई। हाँ हाँ गीता जी, अब आप चाहें तो आपका क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं अनम्यूट करके।
मैम,
हम्म। गीता जी आपकी बिल्कुल भी आवाज ठीक नहीं आ रही है। तो
या किसी को भी, और मेरे को ज्यादातर ऐसा लगता है जो मेरे घर में दो और कोई बात नहीं, यू सेड, ओके, थैंक यू मैम।
हाँ आप बोलिए।
मैम वो इंटरनेट का प्रॉब्लम है, ग्राउंड ग्राउंड फ्लोर पे ना है, तो
आप
वाईफाई भी।
बोलिए, आपका क्वेश्चन बोलिए। अभी आपका वीडियो
मेरा
बंद
क्वेश्चन ये था मैम कि मेरे को लगता है कुछ लो एनर्जी आ जाती है, मतलब मेरे ऊपर बहुत टाइम से, तो
तो
मैं ये
आप
करूंगी,
काउंटिंग
देखती हूँ क्या
करते
होता है।
हैं उसको रिटर्न इट टू द सेंडर विद कॉन्शियसनेस अटैच्ड,
थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू।
है ना?
एक्सेस मंत्रा
हाँ,
भी करूंगी
बस
बेड से
काउंट
उतरने से
को
पहले।
15 बार बोल जाइए और रिटर्न इट टू द सेंडर विद कॉन्शियसनेस अटैच्ड, फॉलोड
थैंक यू मैम,
कम्स टू मी विद ईज एंड ग्लोरी। और अपने आसपास
थैंक यू।
देखिए कोई बास प्रैक्टिशनर हो तो एक आप बास का सेशन तो रिसीव कर ही सकते हैं। अभी क्लास
जरूर जरूर,
नहीं आया है तो बास का सेशन ले लीजिए, है ना?
जी जरूर लूंगी, जरूर लूंगी।
जी, है ना?
थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू। थैंक यू।
हम्म। Now, the next topic is taking a client from tired to limitless. So people like approach you saying that their energy levels are very low. अभी जैसे गीता जी भी के लो एनर्जी मेरी बॉडी में आ जाती है, that means they are feeling that there's something negativity, low energies, they are not having the enthusiasm, the energy for life. So what can you uh, give them by these tools? Depending on your training and the type of work that you do on people's body, you may have a go-to set of supplements and processes for certain conditions. For example, some practitioners believe that if a client is presenting with anger issues, there is something going on with the liver. So they will work on processing the liver for emotions as a means to assist with that. In a similar way, some practitioners offer adrenal supplements to those clients who have lethargy and low energy. While there is nothing wrong with either of those choices, what if you just ask this question? Body, what is it that you require to have the energy you desire? So you can ask the body, what is it that you require? For some people, it would maybe just that they need to go out in the sun. For some people, it might be they need to drink more water, or they might have to like just they want to go for a walk, or they might want to eat some kind of food, some more proteins or whatever it is. But then instead of concluding that their body, anyone who has low energy levels requires certain kind of supplements, and there is something going wrong with one of their organs or body parts, what if you could ask this question and the body would tell it that what is it that is going on with that particular person. The beautiful thing about this is that you can just ask the body. You don't need to verbally ask the client. So you don't have to ask the client while you are working on a person's body. Ask the body, and the body will tell you. Silently ask the question and then run the clearing. Body, what is it that you require to have the energy you desire? Everything that doesn't allow it, will you destroy and create it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all nine shorts, boys, boys, and beyonds. When you are present with a person and their body, you will recognize that their body will communicate different things than the person themselves. You just have to be willing to ask it. And why is tiredness so prevalent in our society? It's actually really simple. All of the judgments, decisions, conclusions, and computations that we make on a daily basis literally work to clog us up, stopping our energy from doing that beautiful free flow that it naturally desires to do. The result is tiredness, lethargy, and low energy. So once you get rid of your judgments, your decisions, conclusions, computations, and separations from people, your energy level automatically rises. Try this. Run this clearing with all the clients you who have, with all the clients you have who are stopping themselves from accessing limitless energy. All the decisions, the judgments, the conclusions, and computations that you have or that you are buying from others as yours, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all nine shorts, boys, bobats, and beyonds. All the decisions, the judgments, the conclusions, and the computations that you have or that you are buying from others as yours, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all nine shorts, boys, bobats, and peons. Along with the huge amounts of judgment, the other big creator of low energy stems from the fact so many people want to get out of their life the way it is now. So they are not happy with their lives. They are bored, or they are like they're trying to get out of a relationship, of a job, of a house or something, and they are not taking that action, that choice that needs to be made for changing it, and therefore they feel tired. They actually want to get out of their current life. Try this. Ask the client who is experiencing low energy this question: how is your life going? They might be a little taken aback if they are not expecting an alternative practitioner to talk to them about something other than their main complaint. But usually, an open question like this can work to open a door to the real issue and the real reason they are seeing you for. They might say, I'm so tired. I have got 4 tickets to take care of and a busy husband, and I'm just really stressed. I don't know how I'm going to make the money last to the end of the month, and the bills are due, and my husband just won't talk about it. I have zero energy. This is good, and it can get better. Let me give you a question that you can ask this client and all of your clients to start to unlock awareness and change their tiredness. Are you ready? It's so simple. You're going to roll your eyes or throw the book across the room. Here it is. Who or what are you tired of? So ask the person, what or who are you tired of? Really? When you first bring this question into a session, you might need to ask it a couple of times, but what you might find is that the lady with the 4 kids and the husband who won't communicate might say something like this after a moment or two. You know what? I'm tired of cleaning up everyone else's mess. Mostly, I'm tired of being the responsible one. And bingo, there is something you can work on with her. So let's face it. Most of us don't always have the energy we would like to have and the energy we are entitled to have. Would you like to use this next question on yourself? So, when you yourself feel tired, you can ask this question: what or who am I tired of that I don't want to acknowledge? Or if I ask you, what or who are you tired of that you don't want to acknowledge? Now, just get a sense of what comes up with that. Remember, you don't need definite answers ever. You just need to be open enough to ask the question. So you don't have to go and find the right answer and name all those people and those situations. You have to just get the energy. What are you tired of that you don't want to acknowledge? Now run it with the clearing statement. What are you tired of that you don't want to acknowledge? Everything that is. Will you destroy and create it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, bobettes, and beyonds. When I ran this question on the video series which this book is based on, I ran it 5 times because I really wanted the participants to get light on this and start to get a change from it. Because how are we going to try to bring lightness to other people when we don't have lightness ourselves? So let's run it 4 more times. What are you tired of that you don't want to acknowledge? Everything that is, will you destroy and create it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all 9 shorts, boys, bobettes, and beyonds. What are you tired of that you don't want to acknowledge? Everything that is, will you destroy and create it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all 9 shorts, boys, bobettes, and beyonds. Again, what are you tired of that you don't want to acknowledge? Everything that is, will you now destroy and create it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, bobettes, and beyonds. What are you tired of that you don't want to acknowledge? Everything that is times a godzillion. Will you destroy and create it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, bobettes, and beyonds. And now notice, what are you feeling a little more alive? I know I do whenever I use this tool. Its impact never diminishes. Realize that most people walking around on the planet are tired of everything all of the time. If you can initiate a change in this area, you will have people flocking to your practice. Simply ask, what or who are you tired of? Will you destroy and uncreate it, please? And then run the clearing statement. Remember that you are not looking for your clients to verbally answer this or any other question. The clearing statement will do its miraculous thing by going back to the point wherever they created the problem in the first place, and that is something they might not even remember. So, with that, we finish chapter 10. Do we have any questions on depression and anxiety or tiredness or anything before we move on to the next chapter, which is chapter 11?
So I have a question. Um, this tool, who does this belong to?
Hmm.
Um, what about, like, if something has happened to me and I am feeling angry about it, or I have done something and I'm feeling guilty about it, then how can I say, like, who does this belong to? Because it is what I am feeling, because what I have done, like, I have done something which I am feeling guilty about.
So, interesting point of view. I have this point of view that I have done something wrong. It's a just you have a judgment about yourself. So there were a number of tools that we did in the earlier chapters, like somewhere between chapters 1 to 4, there were more tools. Yeah. So who does
Okay.
this belong to is that this particular with pain, depression, and anxiety we are talking about. There are more tools that you. One of them is interesting point of view. So if you have a judgment about yourself, guilt is a judgment uh, that you have of yourself, that I have done something wrong, or you are buying into someone else's point of view where someone else is making you feel, they are judging you that you have done something wrong, and then you also feel that you have done something wrong. Okay, I made a choice. That choice did not create what I had expected it to do, and it's fine, it's okay. I'm more aware now. I have learned whatever I was meant to learn from that choice, and now I'm going to be more aware before making choices. You don't have to keep beating and thrashing yourself up.
Okay.
So stop judging yourself. And to get out of judgment, the tool is interesting point of view. I have this point of view, and if someone else is continuously judging you, interesting point of view, they have this point of view. Does it
So,
make
this I asked because when I was not aware of all these things, and when my child was small, I used to hit him a lot. And now I have that guilt of hitting him. And he's now grown up, he's a teenager. And it does, I have this guilt, and I have used these tools. I've also done some amount of EFT work to resolve this, but still, I do, and because of that hitting, he has developed a very hardened, so he would say, I want to grow up soon so that I can match you up, and he actually has grown more taller, and I cannot hit him now. So not that I want to hit him, but I'm just saying कि how he developed this hard skin, and he would stammer. So that guilt is there, and of course I'm a very changed mother now.
do you yeah,
So
do you see your son as an infinite being, or is he a child? Is he a child
okay.
who is dependent on you? Even
Mhm.
a 6 months old baby is an infinite being, and they make a choice. So everywhere you your son made a choice to be born to you and to be hit by you. He was taking on abuse. He was probably healing someone. He was probably healing you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can you be more of like in gratitude of him? And
Can I be more?
you
Can I
can
be
you
more
can
what?
ask forgiveness of him, no? You can tell him, but I'm really sorry that I hit you when I didn't know any better and I couldn't control my anger. I had issues, I had anger issues, and I controlled issues. Are you willing to be vulnerable with him?
Yeah,
And just tell him that I'm sorry I did this to you, and I'm so grateful that you are here for me. And I see you, I see the angel that you are, the healing
yeah,
angel that you are in my life. Are you
yeah,
willing to acknowledge that of him?
yeah,
And then after that, does it do you still need to be guilty about it, or you can make a different choice now? What energy can you click? There is nothing you can change in the past.
yeah.
You can choose a different present and future.
Okay. Yeah, that's really nice. I think
Yeah.
being vulnerable will help me unburden myself.
Unburden yourself and unburden him. How much
Yeah.
of the guilt that you are having, you are projecting onto him.
Okay.
Yeah. So uh, uh, like just be like what kind of a mother you would like to be for him now.
Yeah. One who is, of course, as I said, I've changed and he doesn't feel so scared of me. And yeah, it is, yeah, okay. I would like to be a mother who is more kind and nurturing and caring. And at the same time, yeah, he's a teenage, so have to set some boundaries.
So be that.
Yeah.
Choose to be that.
And how am I projecting the, by me feeling guilt, how am I projecting the guilt on him?
Because then he will also feel guilty that because of me, my mother is feeling bad.
Sure. Okay.
Though he took on to be beaten by you, though he took on to be abused, and like and be there to like be there for you, still be with you.
Hmm.
And now when you feel guilty, like he'll feel guilty of making you feel guilty.
Okay. 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 Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. So the next chapter is it's about the person on the table or whomever, like even if they are not on the table, if there are people in your life who are choosing to be certain energy, they are not choosing to change. It's about them and not you. If you are a body whisperer who is practicing from consciousness so that you are in allowance of everything and anything your client presents to you, and you are out of judgment and you are in the question, then please believe this. Any blocks that come up in a session, any weird feelings, any sense of unease or powerlessness that you experience, it's coming from the person on the table or in the chair, your client, and not from you. So while you are giving a session, anything that you experience is actually something that you are perceiving, which is going on with your client. It's not about you. So don't buy it as yours. Don't say that I'm feeling this, rather than be an observer. Stand at a distance and see it as something that your client is going through, and how you can be that, like facilitate them and be that energy who can create some change in that energy that they are going through. Even when what comes up really feels like it is yours, it's really not. Knowing this and recognizing it is such a liberating thing. What you are perceiving is part of your skill and part of your gift as a body whisperer. And Pinky, my question to you would be, how much of that guilt that you are feeling is of your sons?
Okay.
Yeah. And can you do it? So, who does this belong to? And return it to the center with consciousness attached.
Yes.
You might be having guilt due to certain other things that is going on in your life, and you are just perceiving his guilt.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's look at an example. Say you are halfway through a session and you suddenly feel really insecure about what you are doing. Just a moment ago, you were in full flow, doing what you do, and then a cloud descends and you suddenly think, I can't do this, I'm not powerful enough. This feeling will feel like it's coming from you, and it might even be familiar, personalized even to the extent that you associate it with a specific time in your past when you experienced powerlessness or insecurity. This feels just like when my dad left my mom. This feels exactly how it did when my high school teacher said I would never amount to anything. As convincing as it might seem, please know that if you are practicing from presence and allowance, where there is no judgment, no alignment or agreement, no resistance and reaction, that insecure and powerless feeling is something your talented and gifted sponge like body is picking up from the person on the table. Do you see how amazing and useful this is? You have perceived what they are going through, and now you get to work on it. You were led to exactly where your client is stuck. And it's likely that nobody else in the universe has been to this place with them before you. And if they have, they most likely backed off and shut down because they took it on as their own. Anytime you are working on someone and you suddenly feel something like insecurity, powerlessness, or my particular favorite, you feel like you are in a white room with white walls and no windows and no doors and no way in and no way out. Just play with this idea. What if that's theirs? What if that's what my client is experiencing? This is you energetically getting the awareness of what is going on in their world, and that's what they are there with you for, to try to get beyond the wall that they don't know how to get beyond. Think of it this way: we are all part of the universe. Our molecules are communicating with each other all the time. Their world is interacting with yours, and when you recognize this is what's happening, and when you acknowledge that you are not separate from them or the universe, you understand that you are picking up on the energy of what they require, no more taking it on as your own. Be aware that what your client requires might not be something they can actually talk about. In fact, it is likely they don't even know it's there. In recognizing what you picked up is about them, you remain present and alongside them, and from there, you can facilitate a change. The danger comes when we buy the notion that it is our own insecurity that has thrown us off course and we think we are failing somehow. Sounds familiar? Run this clearing. Everywhere you have been making you wrong because you don't believe that you are actually a good enough healer, because let's face it, we judge the crap out of ourselves more than anybody else ever would or could. Will you destroy and create that? And all of the judgments, all of the inventions, all of the lies that you bought, all the projections, all the expectations, all the separations, and all the rejections of you and your capacities that you have done with that. Will you destroy and create it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, bovettes, and beyonds. So this was about when you feel that the insecurity and everything that is anything else, the fear, the stuckness that is that you are feeling while conducting a session is yours. Now the second thing, when we stop the energy. Now, if you are midway through a session and you suddenly buy the idea that you are not enough, or if you doubt your capacity to initiate change, you effectively stop the session. You stop the energy and you stop the miraculous change that you were in the process of facilitating. Please read this. Let's read this paragraph again. If you are midway through a session and you suddenly buy the idea that you are not enough, or if you doubt your capacity to initiate change, you effectively stop the session. You stop the energy and you stop the miraculous change that you were in the process of facilitating. The fact that the person has come to you, they are on the table to receive the session, it itself endorses that you and only you are capable of initiating a change for them, and therefore they have come to you. Otherwise they could have gone to million of other people for the session. So trust yourself, stop doubting that you cannot do it or you are not good enough. Yeah. It might feel like a wall has been thrown up, or it might suddenly feel like you are wading through a cesspool. The quickest way to deal with this is to ask yourself, is this my stuck or theirs? Then, am I having the exact energy of where they are stuck? Or am I having awareness of the exact energy of where they are stuck? Okay, so you are just getting the awareness that they are stuck somewhere and you have the capacity to take them out of it. You can break those walls now. Suddenly, there is a shift from, oh God, I am stuck, to, oh, this is where they are stuck. Awesome. Now you get to facilitate them to go beyond that place and the energy flows again. For some of you, this one awareness, if you use it, may be worth the price of this book, or the price of whatever in terms of time or energy, anything that you are investing in listening to this call and being here. So anything that's coming up, any questions on this topic before we move on to the next point about the stuck energy, where you feel that you are not going anywhere and you literally feel that the session has stopped? Okay, so let's go to the next one, feeling versus awareness. So these are all the things that we experience when we are giving sessions to someone else, when we are working with a client or with a family member. Like, clients can be anyone whom you are gifting the session. Notice the difference between these two statements. Listen to the statements. I feel powerless and I'm aware of a sense of powerlessness. Can you feel the difference between the energy of these two statements? I feel powerless, really heavy, right? And the another one, I'm aware of a sense of powerlessness. So I'm perceiving there is that energy. It may or may not be mine. You are not buying it as yours. You are not making it as yours. And then when you are saying, I feel powerless, actually, it's in you, in your body. The first one is personal because you are taking the powerlessness on and attributing it to you. You feel contracted and small. The second statement, I'm aware of a sense of powerlessness, is more objective. There is a step back, a bit of distance. You are aware of powerlessness. You take a side step that allows you to do your job. You are actually an observer that there is something going on, and I'm seeing this. Then you can ask, what can I do and what can I be to change this for them? Now, in practice, being the energy of perceiving. Dane says, here's what works for me. In essence, I be what I am perceiving. I be something that encompasses this universe of whatever my client is going through. So, if they have thrown up a wall, I be the wall. Let me go into this a little more detail by setting the scene. I am midway through a session with a client. The energy is moving, and we are exploring these universes and possibilities, and things are expanding and changing and moving and expanding. And I'm thinking how awesome this is. And then imagine a rug being pulled from under me, or a pin popping a balloon, or a brick wall being thrown up right in front of me, practically touching my nose, and the energy just stops. Years ago, before I had the awareness that everything is about the person on the table, I would straight away go into thoughts like this: oh my God, what am I doing wrong? What am I being wrong? What have I stopped here? What did I miss? What didn't I do? Or what wrong I did in the childhood, as Pinky said to my son, which has caused all of this. Yeah. So guilty and not being effective enough. Basically, I would personalize what I was perceiving and blame myself. In truth, this happened quite a few times before I understood it to the extent that I can now share it with you. I'm so glad to be able to share it. Hopefully, you won't take as long as to have your penny drop moment. My penny drop moment came when I spoke to Gary about it. I explained how there was this one particular client who I was working on, and how midway through my sessions with him, this wall would get thrown up and I would get stuck and not know what to do. And once the wall was up, I couldn't figure out where to go and how to get past it. And Gary said, so is it your wall or his? I said, fuck. Until that moment, I assumed it was mine. It sure felt like mine. Tricky, sneaky, crafty wall. It was the client's all along. Of course, it was, because when I acknowledged it, I knew I was practicing from presence, out of judgment, and in allowance. I was so grateful for that new awareness. It belongs to the person on the table. And with that awareness and acknowledgement, I was in a place to facilitate change for this client. Here's how it played out. At my very next session with this guy and his wall, I began with my usual question to get him congruent. I asked, if you could have anything out of this session, what would it be? So, an open ended question that you can ask your client every time you start a session. Yeah. And he said, I just want to be happy and free, and I want to feel like I'm connected to things. The energy was congruent with the ask, so I thought, great, let's do this. Then, at the usual spot in our sessions, the wall came up. This time, instead of running away and going into, oh God, what's wrong with me, and effectively stopping the energy of what we were creating, I became the energy of the wall. How? I lowered all of my barriers and I got right up to that wall, and energetically I said, Hi. So he acknowledged that energy. I stood in front of the wall and I became the 10,000 pounds gorilla in the room. The wall, of course, wasn't going to crumble and dissolve right away. It was a big wall, stubborn and persistent. The wall and I had a bit to and fro that went something like, the wall, I'm a big wall and you must go away. Me, cool, awesome. You are an awesome wall. Hi. The wall, no, you don't understand. I'm a big bad wall, and if you go any further, I'm going to kill you. Me, awesome, I'm ready. Hi. The wall, no, you are terrible. You are small. You should not be here. Go back. Me, awesome. Hi. So, what was Stain doing? He was just acknowledging. He was just being there. Awesome. Like, great, great. I hear you. I see you. And I acknowledge you. The wall tried every trick it knew to beat me away, which I soon realized was exactly what the person was doing, trying to keep themselves out of their own life and keep other people away and out of their life. I stayed standing despite everything the wall threw at me, responding mainly with a hi until, wait for it, the wall just dissolved. So, after it had tried all its tricks, said everything that it could, finally the wall just disappeared. And then there was a palpable sense of the energy in this client's world changing. Not just changing, but exploding, igniting, accelerating. Remember his ask at the start of the session. I just want to be happy and free, and I want to feel like I'm connecting to things. When the wall came down, this person energetically leapt out from his own small and constricted world, the one he had asked me to get him out of, and his joy increased, his sense of connection increased, and he was free. It was so beautiful to perceive. Whether he knew it cognitively or not, he had constructed the wall. It was the thing keeping him from being that connection that he asked for. By just being with the wall, lowering my barriers, and saying hi to every insult, to every profanity, to everything that wall had in its arsenal to throw at me, it dissolved, and then came a profound sense of peace in the sky's world, and he took this really deep breath. It was it was intense in a brilliant way. I put my hands on his body again, and it was like my hand melted into his world. Whenever you experience those feelings of insecurity, of doubt, of fear, of constriction during a session, you now have the tools to get past them. So, what do? You acknowledge, you be there with that energy, standing at a distance, knowing that this is not yours, it is your client's, and just acknowledging it. Hi, hi, I can see you, you are there. Not judging it, not fighting it back, not buying into the lies, the threats that it throws at you. And yes, it's no more complicated than that. Remember, this is transformation or healing, if you prefer, from being. If I may recap, you are practicing from allowance where everything is just an interesting point of view. So you are in allowance of others and you are also in allowance of yourself. Whatever you did, whatever you are doing right now, whatever you are being, not just acknowledging that these are the choices that you made for whatever reason and you are not wrong. Yeah. Your client's biggest insecurity or fear comes up, and you know that no matter how much it feels like your biggest insecurity or fear, it is not. So when you are doing the session somewhere midway, their greatest fear, their like the whatever is holding them back, that comes up, and you, without going into that judgment that this is yours and stopping the energy, you acknowledge that this is what your client is going through, and now is the time for you to be with them with that energy and change it. As you recognize it's theirs, you stay present, you lower your barriers even more, and you stay there by their side, and you be the energy of what you are perceiving, or you practice whatever modality works for you. Being the energy works for me. In essence, you are being the energy with and for them that they can't yet be with and for themselves. You can also use the following questions. What question can I ask to assist them in changing this? What question can I be that will assist them in changing this? What question can I ask and what question can I be that will assist them in changing this? Your gift is to be something they haven't ever been able to be for themselves, but that the two of you together are in a unique position to take on. Please recognize that the people who come to you are coming to you because there is something you and you alone can facilitate for them. They are coming to you for the change that you can gift. They are coming to you because there is a unique interaction between you and them, and there is a unique facilitation that you can do that nobody else on the planet can, including me. They are coming to you because you are the one who can contribute to them. How does it get more beautiful and awesome than that? We'll stop here. Any questions before we bid goodbye for today's call? Does anyone have any question? Great. So I've mentioned this before, and again, for your information, I am going to be in Ahmedabad from 19th of April, Friday, till 25th of April. I'm conducting an Access Pass and Foundation class over there. The dates for the foundation class are from Monday, 22nd April till 25th of April. So if you are interested in taking the class or do any kind of private sessions with me or attend a swap which is being hosted on Sunday by Smita Dave, you are most welcome to join us, and I'll be glad to meet you and change something for you if you are choosing. Thank you everyone for joining in. Stay connected. I'll share the link of the recording for today's call. So Geeta was asking for it. Yes. So Geeta, I do share the call recordings in a day or two after we have done the call. So you can listen to the replay and use the tools more often and receive more from the call itself. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pinky and everyone else on the call. Thank you. Bye bye. Good night.